That being said, I think
Is it
Is it
time?
time?
it's time. It's gonna get a little juicy. It's
All right,
gonna get a little rage clickbait here.
Everybody take a sip of water. Go like take some deep breaths. We're gonna get we're gonna get into it
Hold on.
today.
all right. So, Figured, give us a rundown. What's this game? How we're gonna play it?
All right, today's game is overrated, or not really a game, more of like a discussion, I guess.
Okay.
Is overrated versus overhated. We've got bands that I guess I could present, and you guys could either say if they're overrated or overhated, or we'll have like some band rivalries or something like that.
Okay.
All right.
But
Gotcha.
if which band is overrated, which band is overhated, and yeah, their situations.
All right.
You guys
And-
want to jump into it?
And everyone in the chat, this is a game for you guys too. So let us know.
Let us know and tell us why.
Yeah, and then if
Alright.
Mayhem just says something crazy, just yell at him in the comments.
That's fine.
All right. Our first, we'll start with a local banter: Weezer versus Paramore.
Oh, we're going here again.
This is a local beef here at RockMental. If
I
you
thought- I
haven't,
thought
if you haven't
we-
watched.
We let these emotions out,
Yep.
and we were putting it in the past.
We already went. We went to couples therapy to talk about.
Why are you bringing up old stuff, man?
We're gonna bring up bullshit, man.
So we have to say Weezer.
So what were we going now? With
Yeah.
both bands, overrated or?
Yeah,
Uh,
both bands.
I guess we go one at a time. Weezer and then Paramore.
Yeah, and then we
Alright.
can compare the
Alright.
two.
So everybody knows. I think Weezer is very overrated.
Mr. Groompy?
They're just great. Not overrated or overhated. I don't think they're overhated either.
So they're just right.
They're just
They're just okay.
They're just okay.
Seriously, they're okay.
they're seriously they're just a chill guy.
Yeah.
They're okay.
I'm gonna go with overhated.
Overhated.
Overhated because I think a lot of people weren't around in 1994 when the Blue Album came out,
True.
Yeah.
True.
and so their first sort of I guess introduction to Weezer was like Island in the Sun.
Yeah.
Pinkerton
And
album.
it's
Still
okay,
90s.
it's still
It's 90s.
late 90s, but like that grungy garage band Weezer is the Weezer I grew up with.
Mhm.
So I think if you're gonna judge a band, you gotta look at the whole catalog.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
know-
because of the Blue Album, I mean, come on, that's a
Mhm.
masterpiece.
And I'll go with
Eastwave
you with-
and Seabass both said that they said Paramore over Weezer.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna go with the overhated because, oh my god, I'm a fan. I've seen Weezer. I love them, but those covers, man,
Yeah, the covers.
those covers, and I know that's a lot of the recent taste in the mouth that people have with
Yeah.
Weezer.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Africa's a catchy tune. It just
sounds
exactly like
Yeah.
Toto.
Toto's
Yeah.
Africa. I mean, they could have done something really cool there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have.
But I'll say this. If Pinkerton came out first before the Blue Album, I think they would be a lot better.
Ooh.
That's an interesting
That's,
take.
That's a
an
very
interesting
interesting
take.
take.
They
I
would
actually
be
like
more-
that take.
I think they would be more popular
Yeah.
Okay.
now because
Okay.
you're introducing the feely, touchy side, and you throw on. There's some pop for you.
Yeah, okay.
True.
This could be a discussion on our Patreon page.
Interesting.
What do you guys think?
What do you guys think?
So
All
we got two other. Okay, Paramore.
Paramore over Weezer. I mean, I get it. I love, I like to give sometimes shit on bands that I know are popular,
Yeah.
but there's a reason why I know I can give shit on them. I've heard their music. I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason I'm knowledgeable in them.
Yeah.
I am not gonna say Paramore is a bad band. I'm not gonna say they're overrated. They are not overrated. Are they overrated?
I think, given the era they became popular, because they came up in the post-hardcore.
Emo.
Yeah.
They were one of the
Yeah.
emo
But
bands.
what other female-led emo band was on the Vans Warped Tour that year
True.
or those
Very true.
years?
Very true.
I think that's why they're overhated because of Hayley Williams. First off, she's incredible.
She's an incredible singer. Yeah.
She's
The
an
queen.
incredible
She's
singer,
a-
incredible musician. But you have her growing up, her music growing up, and all the guys want that same Paramore album.
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
after year, and I think that happens to a lot of bands. Like a lot of
Well-
bands become unpopular because they want to get fit into like a
Well, and especially female-led rock bands.
yep.
So like Evanescence, and I think that's probably one of the biggest beefs with Haley Williams or with Paramore was, wait, it's a girl singing with a rock band, but it doesn't sound like Evanescence. What?
Yeah.
And we've very wrongly, I think, pigeonholed those female-led bands.
Yeah.
Like, they had to sound like Evanescence,
Yep.
Or they're just not good.
or they're just not good. And we talked about this with Alibis.
Yeah.
Also about just like how rock fans have done this. I think that's
Mhm.
part of the hate, where it's like, since they couldn't categorize it under Evanescence,
Mm.
Yeah.
it was just different.
Well, and they also like I get a sense like the guys wanted Misery Business every song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I kind of hate that. Like we
Yeah.
want artists to grow up. Like Adrenaline by Deftones does not sound like Ohms from
No,
Deftones,
it does not.
right?
Does
There's
not.
almost 30 years, 25 years of growth there.
Yeah.
And I was about to say that, again, one of the reasons I'm fans, I saw Paramore on a stage with 40, 50 people in 2007 at Warped Tour.
Yep.
And I was like, this band rocks.
Yeah.
I sat there through the whole set. I listened to most of the songs in that first album. I went home, downloaded them.
LimeWire.
Just to age himself a little there.
Yeah. But
Went on
no,
Napster.
but they're my age. They're about my age. So during this era, they were 16, 17 as well.
Yep.
Next year, they were headlining Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Yep.
Literally 1 year later, they were they're in the headlining. They were the last band to go.
Yep.
They were the headliners.
Yeah.
And they were 17, 18 at this
Yep.
point. So yeah, over the years now that you've seen the growth, they grew up. They grew up. Their music changed,
they're-
obviously, as
well,
they
they're-
grew.
Well, they're adults now.
They're adults
Yeah.
now. They're doing their thing. But then you also had Haley Williams. I mean, left the band. Like she went to do her own solo
Yeah,
thing. I
just-
think she gets a lot of hate for that. But
That's
had
true.
she not left, do you think we would have Paramore back again? Because
No, I mean, and again, there was a lot of drama.
it got pretty bad.
There was a lot of drama when a couple of the original members left, and this is early 2010s.
Yeah.
A couple of the founding members, and there was a lot of drama with her, and I believe she was in a relationship with one of those members, and
Mhm.
it didn't end well. Very
No doubt.
Yeah,
I was
very
about to say,
no doubt.
Are we still talking about Paramore? Talking about No Doubt.
No, very no doubt.
Okay.
But
We know Holla Back Girl.
The reason they call them cliches is because
Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, I can see where some of the hate comes, but overall their music is
Yeah.
great. I love the band, and I will criticize some of their albums, especially some of their newer albums, but
Mhm.
that just means I listen to them. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't think their last album was really bad at all. I thought actually it was quite
It was really good.
the latest one was pretty good. The one
But-
before that one.
I think I could I get you. But I think what happens with Paramore is everybody, all the guys want Misery Business.
Yes.
Misery Business, Misery
Yeah.
Business. And that's all they want from her. And that's, I think, very unfair.
And then back to your point, it doesn't sound like Hey Monday, Millionaires, Lights. There was a lot of female,
That band's at the
But-
yeah.
but they're the ones that they didn't sound exactly like Paramore, and I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
they
true.
they didn't get their fair chance.
That's true. That's very true.
Mhm.
That's very true.
All right, on the topic of female-led bands, you guys want to move to Linkin Park?
Ooh. Overrated or
Hated.
Hated?
Overrated.
I'm gonna
Currently.
currently
with Emily
Yeah.
Armstrong.
overhated.
I'm gonna say overhated.
Overhated.
I think a lot of people, same thing. Chester, rest in peace. No longer there. They had to make a decision, so they made a decision. Of course, they could have gone with another guy. Another guy would probably have the same range as Chester. I remember talking to Alibis about this. They mentioned Josie from Saliva
Oh, yeah.
audition.
Okay.
It sound just like that. So of course fans are gonna want the same, but in that situation, yeah, Seabass overrated.
Yeah, Seabass said
Overrated.
overrated.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you have to appreciate the Chester Bennington Linkin Park is not going to sound like the Emily Armstrong dude.
Oh, no.
Emily Armstrong Linkin Park. You can appreciate both. Those things are not mutually exclusive. You can like Hybrid Theory, Meteora,
Mhm.
Linkin Park, and you can still like this stuff. It doesn't have to be contentious. So I'm gonna let everyone off the hook, Linkin Park fans. You can like them both,
Yes.
okay? Please.
We talk
And you
about
should.
purists a lot, and I think
Yeah.
the purists,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the people. I mean, I don't think a lot of us are ready to let go of Chester yet. I listen to Linkin Park, the Chester
Oh.
Linkin Park. I
All
mean,
the time.
several times a week.
Yeah.
I think nobody wants to give that up, and it's still very sad that he's gone. But now that we've moved on, and you've got this great music coming out from most of the same band, plus an incredible artist. I mean, Emily Armstrong is no scrub. Like,
No,
that
she's-
girl can sing,
she's
Yes.
singing, yeah.
and she's incredible. I think that's what we're kind of getting with Linkin Park as well. They want the same thing.
Yeah.
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 No, but yeah, overhated. You got to give it a chance. You just
Yep.
can't hate on it because of the change.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to another one that has been recent. Sleep Token.
Sleep
Sleep
Token.
People were
Okay.
saying that they sound like too poppy.
Oh, that the new stuff that they
Yeah.
put
Yeah,
out
the new
is-
one.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm coming from an external. I'm not necessarily a Sleep Token fan. Okay, I'm not. It's not my cup of tea. Okay, but I'm not gonna hate on them because I don't. That's not my preference.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Overhated.
Okay.
I just think like just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can shit on it.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I think, were they even really metal though?
They're
Like the metal that we think metal is?
No, but
I mean,
but they're trying to fuse elements, which
Mhm.
I mean, you can make the argument that a lot of these newer metal bands are starting to do. They're adding not a poppy sound, but poppy elements
Mhm.
into the music with the hooks and with like
Yeah.
the pre-choruses and like things like that, which structurally can still work
Mhm.
in a metal song, but I think what they're doing it very purposely, and I don't know, maybe the whole mask thing is
Yeah.
throwing people off, but I don't know. Not my cup of tea, but I'm not gonna shit on it.
I'm gonna have to like look at the entire body of work. I can't really judge an
Yeah.
album
I-
based off
I-
of one or two songs.
I feel
I've
that.
heard both songs. I think they're actually pretty good. I like Lady Gaga, so maybe that's
maybe
it's my pop.
all
My
right.
pop. Yeah.
Yeah,
coming
Screw
out.
it. Overrated.
Oh,
Okay, let's see.
bombshell.
The best songs that I love about Sleep Token are covers.
That's crazy.
I like
Okay.
Sleep Token. Don't get me wrong, but
That's a valid
Okay,
position.
okay.
I'll give you that one.
sorry, Sleep Token.
Yeah. If you guys haven't heard Sleep Token, please go listen to them. They are pretty good. If you like that sort of thing, if you're into that sort of thing. So, all right.
Okay.
Let's move on to some really older bands. What about Creed?
Creed.
Okay.
Oh.
Can I go first?
Yes.
Creed. Overhated. Scott
Scott Stapp.
Stapp. Overrated.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Band overhated. Him personally
Well, okay. So my thing with
hated.
okay, so growing up, we came out with like the original Creed album,
Yep.
My Own Prison. It was actually really good.
Yep.
It was actually really good. And then Human Clay came out, and Higher, and they started getting more popular and everything like that. And then their third album just kind of just fell off because I think everyone was still expecting
Yeah.
Human Clay Creed, and it was not that. The
Nope.
Weathered album was just not that. But to me, it was never about the music. The reason why Creed gets shit is because it just became popular to hate Creed. Like you had to fit in.
Yeah.
You got to hate Creed.
I agree with
I
that.
wouldn't-
I agree with that.
I wouldn't call it like praise and worship music, like Christian music. It was like adjacent to that. Like I think that might be a reason why people kind of hated that as well.
Oh, it looks like Ace Wave's going to see Linkin Park in Florida.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
how it
share-
goes, man.
Yeah, share your experience afterwards, man. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
And I gotta say, they're also a victim of Scott Stapp. Like,
That's what I was
Yeah.
about to say.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say.
so, like, as a band, the music by itself, I think, like you said, overhated because of who it's attached to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, if they had another lead singer,
Well, I mean, they broke up because of Scott Stapp's stuff.
Yeah.
Which again, okay, he battled his own demons.
oh, he went through some.
He went through some
He
stuff.
battled
Yeah.
his demons, but
Didn't Floyd Mayweather or somebody like call him out from the edge or something like that? Something
like that.
really crazy
Real
like
weird. Yeah. But he had a very strict upbringing.
that.
He
Mhm.
dealt with a lot of stuff. He
Yeah.
battled addiction. So more power to him.
Yeah.
power to him. But
But at the time,
he was kind of
Well-
an asshole.
I'm gonna say that they were kind of ahead of their time. I mean, Creed's having a moment over the past few years. I mean, the Texas Rangers,
The Texas
that
Rangers,
was
yeah.
their
Yeah.
anthem the entire season when
And they won the World Series, yeah.
The World Series.
I mean,
so,
you can't doom scroll through Instagram reels without going through one
Yeah.
one at least one that has a Creed
I
song.
gotta tell you, my favorite one is a guy. He's at the Grand Canyon and he's belting out "Home and Now." It's a hilarious thing. It's so cool.
post COVID, Creed is a band that nobody wanted, but it was the band everybody needed.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So would you
Uh,
say that Creed is in the same situation as the Smiths with like their lead
Oh,
singer? Just being an absolutely terrible person.
God Stapp is the new Morrissey.
dang.
Okay, I will say Scott Stapp actually got help. He doesn't seem to be a dick,
Okay.
He got help.
at least from what most people can tell.
Well,
At least
Yeah.
he's tried to right
Yeah,
his
the
wrongs.
wrongs, yeah.
Morrissey, he just
If you
doubles
ever,
down.
if you want to read about how much of an asshole Morrissey is, just go read his Wikipedia page. I'll just say that.
if you guys don't know, Mayhem's really trying to get a fuck you from Morrissey
Yeah.
on his on social
Just,
media.
I
but
mean, it's
never
all in his Wikipedia page. I mean, you can tell. I mean, why not say fuck you to the people that wrote his Wikipedia?
mind. But
All right.
All right,
next?
the next one is we'll go with Megadeth. You know that whole Metallica Megadeth like rivalry, I guess. But if you think about it, Metallica's the one that gets most of the praise.
yes, but I always have a but. Megadeth charted their own path.
Yeah,
I think what Dave Mustaine rightly did was, I mean, they okay. A lot of, okay, well, first off, he was just a raging, well, they're all raging alcoholics, but he was
Yeah.
just happened to be the dick, and they didn't like that. They just were not in sync, and they had some creative differences too. I mean, we talked about the whole Four Horsemen mechanics thing.
yeah,
But what I think what Dave Mustaine did very smartly was he didn't just create Megadeth and try to beat Metallica. I think a lot of times when bands break up, their whole mission in life, like we talked about Taking Back Sunday and the brand new,
The brand new.
the
Take down each other.
the whole mission of that new band is to take down the other band. Dave Mustaine knew he was not going to take down Metallica.
Yeah.
He's not. And plus, he's not even going to play that game.
yeah.
So he waited. He waited. He got his new band. He got the new sound. He made sure that Megadeth sounds like Megadeth.
Yep.
So nowadays, when you hear a Megadeth song, you know it's fucking Megadeth, and it's not Metallica.
Yeah,
So I think the hate that some Metallica snobs, I guess, out there get about Megadeth has more to do about Dave Mustaine than the band. So I think Megadeth is overhated.
yeah.
I'm gonna
And
say
that's coming from a
overhated as well.
Metallica fan too. That's
I'm gonna
pretty.
say
powerful.
He's
overhated.
over a Metallica fan, yeah.
Well, overhated because, I mean, Dave Mustaine's kind of, he didn't do the band any favors
No, he didn't.
either. So a lot of it, I think, has to go with those purist Metallica fans. Oh, this does not sound like Metallica, versus like the few Dave Mustaine stands, I guess. Like, oh, this is great. And I mean, over a few years after they started, they were just like neck and neck.
Yeah.
And as far as quality and everything goes, I really just think they're
Mm.
overhated.
No, I think so too.
Yeah.
Overhated.
I mean, you think about it. Like, you when you hear like Tornado of Souls and Harvester of Sorrow, which I think came out around the same time, right? Like they don't sound the same at all, and that was on purpose.
Yeah, Seabass said that he agrees with Mayhem.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll go to the next one. We'll go with a very hated band, Nickelback.
Oh, man.
This okay.
Look at this photograph. No, it's
Look at the photograph. Okay, so here, okay, Nickelback is interesting. Okay, I don't like Nickelback. I think their songs are basic.
I say that their songs are safe. Like,
Safe.
there's nothing you
Okay.
can complain about them because they sound so vanilla
Yeah.
that, like, I guess there's nothing wrong with it, but, like, I
So you're
mean,
going overrated though.
yeah.
I would go overrated, but one thing that they did do well is if a Nickelback song comes on, you know who it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. That's
That was
true.
Because most of the time you're like, oh fuck no, fuck no.
Yeah, it's gonna change it instantly.
The second thing is you can probably name 3 Nickelback songs right now.
Yes.
Mm.
That's why I was gonna go with overhated.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna hear this.
Overhated.
I'm gonna hear
Just
this.
because, again, I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest Nickelback fan either. I grew up in the area, but to your point, you know, you'll hear the song. You're like, this is
You'll know.
Nickelback.
Everybody
This
knows
is-
who's Nickelback.
We
is.
know
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
Nickelback is, and
Yeah, I just want to be a big rock
everyone.
star.
Yeah. But at the same time, are they hated because of the music, or are they hated because they got popular to hate them as well?
Kind of the
Yeah.
creed, right? It was
Yes.
cool to hate them.
Yeah, and it became really cool to
It was
hate
like a
on
meme at some
Nickelback.
point.
Yeah. I think everyone close your eyes, you guys at home too. Listen in your head a Nickelback song and tell me that it doesn't sound like a fucking AI song.
Yeah, Nickelback was the original AI band.
It's
There's no way that they made that. There's like just so overly produced.
Yeah, there was overproduced.
Oh my god. I think that's why is because it was so polished.
yeah.
So that in my opinion is what they kind of
Overrated.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like what
overrated.
remember what Tyler the creator said about Eminem, that he was like too technical and like too perfect with his raps, that it just sounded gross. I guess that's what people are kind of saying with Nickelback, or what you're like. I guess that could also be what you're saying.
But I get what you're saying, like the overproduction.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole joke about there was like a meme where it showed like Freddie Mercury and Beyonce, and it showed like Freddie Mercury with Bohemian Rhapsody. He had one writer and one producer.
Mhm.
And with Beyonce, she had like 15 writers and 10 producers. And like, not saying one's right or better or whatever, but it's like when it's overproduced,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could definitely tell.
you can really tell. So Seabass said, yeah, people hate on them because it was what people
It's
do.
just what people do.
Yeah.
what people do.
You were born to
I
hate
think so.
Nickelback.
I think it's the production that really does it for me. It's
Yeah.
just way overproduced. It's over the top. Like even for rock music, it's just over
Yeah.
the top.
You know, and I get it. Too many people put their fingers in it. It just you
Yeah.
don't-
Well, I would say we're kind of guilty because we have a whole table full of band stickers and we put Nickelback over here on the edge.
Anyway.
They're right here.
Sorry, Nickelback.
Our middle back.
All right,
else we
next
got?
we'll go with another rivalry: the Sparta versus the Mars Volta.
Ooh. I think Sparta is 100% completely
Overrated.
overrated. Underrated.
I was about to say.
I would
No,
say
they're
underrated.
completely underrated.
underrated,
Sparta,
Completely underrated.
Oh my! They don't get the hype, and it's not like the Mars Volta gets a huge hype either. But they definitely don't get the hype that the Mars Volta
No.
gets, and they're just as good, if not
Yeah.
better.
I would venture to say Sparta's better than Mars
Yeah,
Volta.
I think a lot
That's
of people. Would.
my. But
Ooh, okay.
Mars Volta is enjoying the bigger commercial success.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
But my personal thing, I like Sparta.
I'm
Thank you, Jim Ward.
going to say both of them are underrated, but Sparta is by far more underrated.
Yes.
100%.
I think what people expected after they broke up was 2 at the drive-ins,
yeah.
and that's not what
and
happened.
Sparta is not at the drive-in. There's something very different.
Mm.
It is.
Yeah.
So when you remove that and put that Sparta album, the Porcelain one, in
Yeah.
a vacuum, you're not expecting anything,
No,
and it's
you're not.
great.
Yeah.
The Mars Volta are also underrated, but I think they kind of did it to themselves. Because you have at the drive-in, you guys are the ones jumping off of everything and like throwing guitars into this crowd and shit, and like you go and you start singing some weird shit. Like people are gonna be
Yeah.
like, okay, what happened to those guys that used to jump off of?
I know they have like 30-minute songs.
Yeah.
but they're a great band. Like
They are.
awesome. Like
I like the
Francis
Oasis.
Amu.
Yeah,
Francis
oh
Amu
my
for me
gosh.
is probably one of their best.
Yeah.
I know they have a lot of work out there, but is my favorite.
Well, Sparta's right now is on tour, performing Porcelain.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
celebrating the
This is
20th
the
year.
20th anniversary. Yeah, Porcelain. So they actually just announced a local show, which we can't go to. Darn it. But
Gosh
I
dang
will
it.
say
I mean, we could, but then
we
we
make someone mad.
Yeah.
But I will say I've had the opportunity to talk to Jim Ward. I've interviewed him for a couple of different previous jobs and engagements. But first off, this dude's fucking cool.
yeah.
Fucking cool, down to earth. I mean, you can tell his brain is in like 14 different ways, and probably 10 of them is just music.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a business owner. He owns a bar. He owns different venues at different establishments. I mean, you can tell just the care and attention he takes for everything. And musically, I mean, he had that. He even did another project, Sleeper Car.
Yep.
It was like an alternative country.
Yeah,
And you
I was gonna call it more folkish.
Yeah,
folk and
folky,
it's still like
yeah.
indie folk, and so, but you can just, when you talk to him, you can just hear his genius of just like the way he wants to make music. He does
Yeah.
it very intentionally, and he does it very purposely. So I think when Porcelain came out, and like you said, like people were like, well, what happens at the drive-in? Like, oh yeah, he purposely did that because he had a very specific sound in mind.
Yeah.
So Jim Ward, if you're hearing,
We love you.
We got
Keep
you
it coming.
back, Jim Ward.
Agreed.
All right, the next band is Oasis.
Oh, Jesus. Severely overrated.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, people
Yeah.
only watch for the fights. Like honestly, name
Jerry.
No, remember Celebrity Deathmatch
Oh,
on MTV, the claymation, and it was the Gallagher brothers.
they would fight each other. Oh man.
We gotta find that YouTube. We're
Yeah,
gonna link it
that's
on our
so
page.
funny.
Oh
Didn't
my
it end
God.
like in a tie or something?
They both like killed each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man.
That was funny.
They're like a train wreck in slow motion
Yeah.
that people just watch for entertainment.
And then they also make music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. I think there's actually a Las Vegas bet line of will Oasis finish this tour?
That's crazy.
You don't know.
You never know.
Okay. Again, if we're talking about just the music, I can still say possibly overrated because outside of Wonderwall, outside of Champagne Supernova,
Mhm.
Yeah.
outside of
Don't look back. And
Don't Look Back.
Anger, yeah.
honestly, I couldn't tell you another Oasis song.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you another album outside of what's the
Was
story of
Story of
Morning Glory.
yeah. And it sucks because I mean those are really good songs.
But they're
Mm.
victims of themselves. They
Yeah,
couldn't
and-
get along.
That's
And-
exactly what I was gonna say. I'm like, great album, great songs. I don't know anything past that, but is that because their music suck, or is it because they let their personal lives dictate too much of their career after
True.
Yeah.
True.
I think they
Very
had
true.
like a Guns N' Roses problem where they waited too long. It was like 20 years to get Chinese Democracy.
that? Yeah.
And then so after whatever album was after was the story of Morning Glory.
Okay.
Like what, 15 years before we heard anything from the both of
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, that's a lot. I would do a hot take right now. Chinese Democracy was more of a disgrace than Saint Anger.
Ooh, I don't know if that's
That's not
a
that
lot
hard
of
of a
people hate
take.
Chinese Democracy.
But they put it at the same Saint Anger. I think Saint Anger was such a better album. Anyway, that's another
Alright,
episode.
you're-
That's
yeah.
another episode.
Little
All right, we'll go with the Beatles.
overrated. Oh my god.
Oh,
Severely overrated.
I'm gonna sit
We're
back.
gonna
and
we're gonna
watch
have
Mayhem
some
and
comments right
Groupie,
now, probably.
I think Jose Rios is gonna come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Activate. He's putting down his typing gloves.
Wow.
What do you have to say about that?
Fighting words.
The Beatles are a gimmick band.
Oh,
They use
shoot.
gimmicks
Explain.
in the music. Oh bloody, oh bloody, life goes on. That's a gimmick. They use that in a lot of their music.
Yeah, and it hits.
It does
It
not hit.
raps
It actually does not.
in the Obladi. Oh my God, life goes on. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say this, but I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I thought we talked about rock bands on this show.
Dang.
I mean, you were just talking about Sleep Token and how people need to appreciate.
For those of you listening on Spotify, Figure and I are just sitting back, and just watching this.
I don't understand the love that the Beatles get, by rock fans. Like, so Jack White can hear like the first two notes of any Beatles song and
And
name the
he'll
song,
know instantly.
which is insane to me.
Yeah.
And
I-
seriously, the Beatles do have good music. Don't get me wrong, but are they really that great? Like, do they?
would
do
we
they
have
really-
Oasis?
Who needs Oasis?
No, okay. Would we have Wonderwall without the? They've said how vital the Beatles were
I
to
can
them.
I can live without Wonderwall.
Siba says, I like them, but they're overrated. They were just the first big British band to making it in the US.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Worldwide.
Would it be safe to say that in the same degree that it was popular to hate Nickelback, it's popular to like the Beatles?
Yeah. Okay, they go through like this cycle where like it's cool to like the Beatles, and then everybody likes the Beatles, and then it becomes like, oh, if you like the Beatles, then you're just like following everybody else, and then they go back underground, and then they come back, oh, you like the Beatles, I like the Beatles too, things like that.
I just don't-
It's a vicious cycle.
I just
Yeah.
don't think their music's very good.
And then they come back and re-release a one song and get nominated for a Grammy and win
Exactly.
25 years later.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not that
shit.
we
Not that we have a complex.
have
about
a
it or
complex
anything.
about that or anything. But
Oh,
honestly, like they're
I'm
not
gonna
really
say
a rock. They're a pop band.
I'm gonna say a hot take real quick.
What's that?
That album cover, the one where they're walking across the thing, is
Yeah,
more
Abbey Road.
popular than their music is.
I
The
have to
album
s-
How
cover
many
is more
people-
iconic than the music.
How many more people have that poster in their room than actually listen to the Beatles?
Ooh, I would venture to say, yeah,
Yeah,
I
on
would
the
bet you
shirts
say-
too.
yeah.
Even the regular Beatles shirt.
Yeah.
People buying that shit at
Walmart.
Walmart,
I
at
think-
Old Navy.
I think we have
Old
the Abbey Road
Navy.
sticker somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's here somewhere.
Yeah, it's on here somewhere.
But yeah, like if you think about it, it's just like a fashion piece to like the Beatles. Or
Exactly.
have like the Beatles written on your shirt or something.
So the Beatles have made incredible music. I'm not gonna say they don't have good music, but a lot of it's just crap. Like it's only good because the Beatles made it.
Well, the only good music they did was when they were like freaking high on LSD and stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's awesome.
and honestly,
Yellow Submarine. You know
Yellow
the Yellow
Submarine.
Submarine.
LSD probably saved them.
Saves them.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Yesterday is just a I don't know the Mona Lisa of music, dude. Come on, well, you did say they have good music, so I'm
That
not.
yesterday is a good song.
They're good. They're good songs. It's
Yeah.
just they're not like.
They're not as good as people hype them up to be.
I'll get
I'd say
to.
that.
It's not even. They're not. I mean, to me, they are, but people will hype them up to be when. Yes, you're right. They have a shirt or two and they know two songs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. I get with your sentiment of, they'll jump on the bandwagon and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
not everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, and then
Yeah.
I've experienced that a couple of times in my life already where they weren't popular, they are popular,
Yeah.
they're not popular.
I'm surprised Jose hasn't come on the.
might have
Yeah.
He
just
turned us
turned us
off.
off.
He turned us off. He's like, screw this.
All right.
Unsubscribe.
All right, we are running out of time. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna
Alright.
do Red Hot Chili Peppers last.
I thought we talked about rock bands.
Oh shit!
Mr.
I'm gonna say overhated. I I
Mr.
love Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Groupie, I think he's gonna agree with you there, Kev.
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, he's got the logo right here on his
Yeah, I
mic.
know.
Pretty sure the first 3 episodes we shot, he was in a Chili
Yeah.
Pepper shirt.
Yeah.
What do
Okay,
you have to say
state your
about
case, gentlemen.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say the Red Hot Chili Peppers are overhated.
I
They-
don't think they're overhated.
They're just hated. A lot of people hate them, and I just some of their music's creepy, man. It's creepy.
Well, outside of Anthony Kiedis dating 19-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, it's not unheard of
I mean, literally, Anthony
for
does it.
rock.
That's true.
I mean,
Bill Belichick's doing it.
I mean, as long as the young woman is an adult when the relationship started and it's consensual,
That's fine. That's cool.
fine. It's still creepy.
It is pretty
dude.
creepy.
And he has bangs now. And I watched this YouTube short or something like that about him forgetting the lyrics to his own songs,
Oh,
and
I
his
heard that.
bandmates laughing because they're like, "What the fuck is he talking
doing?
about?"
All right, I'm gonna say this, and this is purely this is gonna date me just a little bit. Every time I think about the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think about Bruno Mars from that one Super Bowl. That's the
True.
only
The
thing
Super
that I
Bowl?
can. Whenever I think
Oh.
of Red Hot Chili Peppers, I only think of that one Super Bowl with the Bruno Mars.
But okay, we can talk about influences. We can talk about, but they were unique, and I think there's still today not a band that sounds like a Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Is there a band that wants to sound like the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Maybe not. I don't care. Like,
So
but like
Stop.
you got. They've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They done a lot of stuff, and a lot of it, was gimmicky. The sock on their junk, you know, the flame helmets and shit like that. Of course, it was gimmicky,
Flea.
but
yeah, just in general.
but
Just in general,
I
Flea.
can guarantee that a lot of people, I would say at least 85% of the people listening and watching, have a Red Hot Chili Pepper song on their playlist,
Yes.
I actually do.
and multiple, probably multiple,
Well,
hopefully multiple.
That's why
I
I'm not
don't.
saying overhated. That's what I'm saying. They're hated the right amount.
They're
You know,
justifiably hated.
again, and it is part bias. Red Hot Chili Peppers were vital in my coming of age story. There definitely would be a part of my soundtrack back in those days. Scar Tissue,
Scar Tissue, yeah.
Snow.
The whole Californication album was just wow.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, yeah.
You guys are all wrong. One Hot Minute is the best album that they've
It
ever
is
made.
very
Only
good.
because it had Dave Navarro on there. Roller Coaster of Love,
Roller Coaster
Yeah.
Love, that was a good
My
one.
Friends,
Okay.
Dave Navarro's the best thing that happened to the
My
Red Hot Chili
Airplane.
Peppers.
Ooh, that was also a take. I think this would be another discussion
Which
for
that?
Patreon. The
Dave Navarro's.
Navarro's.
The best thing
version.
that happened to the
Dave
Red Hot
Navarro-
Chili Peppers.
Oh, Dave
better than
Navarro's
John
version.
Frusciante?
That's
Oh,
the
no.
best Red Hot Chili
I'm not
Peppers
saying he's
version.
better. I'm saying his version of the Red Hot Chili Peppers is better than John Frusciante's.
Ooh, wow.
All right. Well,
Well,
that's it
Sebastian
for...
said yup. So
Yup.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's
That's-
yupping.
Yeah, we're going to need more context, Seabass.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, there's a lot to go on. We okay. Just to give you all an example, this is the kind of shit we talk about.
Yeah.
So
We kind of forget that the microphones are
yeah, so we're like, wait. But yeah, let us know what you think. Are there any other bands you think are overrated or overhated? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. If you're listening to us on Spotify, drop us a comment. Let us know. We want to hear from y'all.
Absolutely.